Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, everyone. My name is Sinta. I want to explain my presentation about the effectiveness of discovery learning method in teaching writing. Okay, first is background of study. Writing is a part of important skills in English beside listening, reading, and speaking. Writing is the skill the students create from their mind in real life feeling. It is one of the important of every day for students to success, evaluation, and to develop their opinion to each other. Writing is one of the communication ways to communicate with other people in the world. Writing is required in almost in part jobs. The last, writing can assumed as one of the characteristics of educated people. Through observation, researchers observes the learning process of college students in the earlier to see the difficult student experience in teaching writing, especially in news material and procedural text. They are confused about how to start writing because they lack vocabulary and don't know how to make sentence correctly, learn according to the general structure. Okay, next, identification of the problem. There is three. One is student experience difficulties in vocabulary and grammar because they will learn through shared experience. Thus, the problem is that the role of the vocabulary is in writing achievement is the contribution of vocabulary to the effectiveness of learning to write. 2. The effectiveness of discovery learning or writing learning achievement in college and due to the role of learning facilities on the effectiveness of writing learning. 3. Researchers want to see specifically the use of methods in learning, how effective the use of discovery methods in the learning process, which will be applied to learning to write news text and procedural text in early year college students. Okay, next is focus of the study. There is two. Is one, how the student can study effectiveness of discovery learning in teaching writing. 2. How it impacts student engagement, creatively, and retention of writing skill. Okay, next is research question. There is two. One is how does the use of discovery learning methods impact student motivation and engagement in writing tests? 2. How does the implementation of discovery learning method influence the development of writing skills among students compared to traditional instructional approaches? Okay, next is hypothesis of the study. Considering the problem formulation above, the hypothesis of this research is that the discovery learning method is the effective in teaching writing, news tests, and procedural tests to early year college students. Okay, next is definition of the term. The term used in this research were cited from scientific work and reference. Each of the key terms is defined as follows. 1. Discovery learning. Discovery learning is the method which recommended in 2013 curriculum. By doing this method, the teacher does not give the final material with a stimulus and given by the teacher. 2. News item. News item text is the text that is designed to inform readers, listeners, or viewers about an event of the day which are considered newsworthy event. This text use adverbs, often is passive sentence. The last is procedure text. Procedure text that are familiar with daily life. For example, in giving instruction to make something and do something. In the rules of the is in the present strings of two manual steps, direction of the goals. Okay, the last is purpose. Have three purpose. One is to find out the student writing, score before the lecturer, use the discovery of learning methods in teaching writing. 2. To find our student writing scores after the lecture, use the discovery learning method in teaching writing. 3. To determine the difference in student pre-test and post-test scores after teaching learning, use this discovery learning in teaching writing. Okay, next, Bab 2 is literature review. A. Discovery learning method. B. One is definition of discovery learning method. Discovery learning is a model to improve the students to be achieved in learning process by discovering and investigating themselves. Okay, next is 2. The stage of discovery learning method. There are 3 paths. These are the first planning path, which is activity to define the learning objective, identify students' characteristics, determine the material developed, the teaching material and media, and also design the assessment process. The second is implementation please a path which include this discovery learning activity consists of 6 steps. Those are is stimulation, problem statement, data collection, data processing, verification, and generalization. The third is assessment. The assessment can be done as a test form or non-test form. 3. The advantages and disadvantages of discovery learning in teaching writing. Okay, the discovery learning method is a good method to use by the teacher in the teaching and learning process. This strategy also suitable to use in the 2013 curriculum and scientific approach, because one the advantages of this discovery learning method is helping the student to find the target learning material by themselves. Bab 3 is research methodology. Research method. This study uses quantitative research using only group pre-test, post-test design. Only group pre-test, post-test design is an experiment involving only the group, and to comparison or control group is a study which only group pre-test, post-test design. This design uses a non-random selection of subjects and involving one group. There was no comparison group or control group. In research with this design, the implementation of the study involved one group. Then the research in the initial experiment group, the group was given an initial test or pre-test. Next, the group was given treatment or experiment after the group was given the final test or post-test. Okay, population and sample. The population in this study was a learning year college student. They are spread across class A, B, C. The sample is a part of the population that is used to generalize findings due to limitation in time, ability in each other. Okay, next is technique of data collection. Collecting the means identifying and selecting individuals for a study, obtaining their permission on the study time, and getting information by asking people questions or observing their behavior. Like retest, treatment, and post-test. Okay, technique of data analysis. Data analysis is the way research analyzes data in managing and analyzing the data collected. The research use quantitative data analysis by using statistical technique. Analyzing data is a process of analyzing the acquired from the result of the research. The data which was needed in the research have been collected in writing recount from. To analyze this data, the research used a pretty simple test. Okay, the last is hypothesis testing. If the significant value is smaller than significance level, the alternative hypothesis is effective. It means that the use of discovery learning method in teaching writing is effective. If the significance value is bigger, the significance level, no hypothesis is rejected. It meant that the use of this discovery learning method in a teaching writing is ineffective. Okay, thank you. Maybe just all about my presentation. Thank you so much for your attention. And the last I say, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.